Welcome back to the Garden with Joey and Holly radio show. Happy to have you along. It's time for your garden questions and our garden answers. By the way, if you want to find out more information about the sponsors and support the program financially to allow them to be heard on your station each week, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com underneath the Season 9 tab at the top of the page. Garden question answer time. Send your questions on over to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or you can give us a call toll free, coast to coast, 24/7, 365. That number is 1-800-927-SHOW. 1-800-927-SHOW. If we don't pick up, leave a message and we will get back to you with the answer to your question.
Okay, so first question here is I have harvested my turnips and the roots are damaged with half a tunnel like scars. What happened?
Okay, so you probably have the turnip root maggot. They are larvae of small flies that burrow into and feed off the roots of turnips and other cruciferous vegetables. These pests can cause significant damage, resulting in stunted growth, wilting, unsightful tunneling, scars in the roots. Though the damage may be external, you can cut that portion out and still consume the root or the edible portion of the plant. You can plant turnips and other root crops turnips are kind of considered a cool weather crop, so is rutabagas, radishes. You can plant these later in the season to effectively strategize against planting them during the springtime when the root maggot fly and the adults are laying eggs and hatch. So you can wait until mid to late summer to plant these or do a fall planting, and that will help. Now, if you are in the situation like this individual is, there's not much you can do right now. However, avoid planting turnips in the same location for 3 years. Disrupt the life cycle there. Make sure if you're going to plant them in other portions of your garden, they're significantly farther enough away from the area that is infected. You can use floating row covers. You can use yellow sticky traps, beneficial nematodes, solarization of the area to bake the soil to kill the pupil of the larva. So there's things in which you can do later, since the rutabagas, the turnips, whatever you're growing may already be affected now, radishes. So it is the turnip root maggot. So you can look that up and do your research on what's going to be best for your particular garden. All right, I have pine cones I have placed around containers to keep cats and squirrels from digging in them. Is there something additionally I can add to the pine cones to repel the squirrels?
Good. I don't know, would chili powder work?
Chili powder would work, yeah.
Because they don't like that because then they'll get it in their noses.
Yeah, ingest them in,
Yeah. What else?
Chili powder would be fine.
Chili powder would probably be the best.
Now, you're going to have to reapply in some instances based on how much it rains or you water in order to keep that powder fluffy and dry. Mm-hmm. But typically in this situation, that's why some bird seed manufacturers include this, is because birds don't have the ability to pick up that sensory. They don't have that sensory mechanism in their taste buds in order to pick up that spice. Squirrels do. Typically, when the squirrel knows that is a place where it's not fun to be around, they don't come back. They don't go back tomorrow and go, I wonder if they took the spiciness away from they go elsewhere. So right. Keep that in mind. So yes, you can do that as well. And we recommend you can put pine cones, if you're in an area where you can get a lot of them for free, like at a park or something. This is a way in order to deter cats from utilizing containers and raised beds, grow bags as litter boxes. Yeah. All right. I have purchased Bob's Red Mill Organic Medium Grade Stone Ground Cornmeal for my tomatoes. I noticed it doesn't specifically say yellow on the bag, just organic whole grain. I thought it was the best choice for the price. Is this okay to use to deter early blight around my tomatoes? If so, how much do I use? And explain briefly the applicational rate. John, listen to us on WAAM 1600 AM and 92.7 FM out of Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah, that's the correct one. It would specifically say white if it was white cornmeal.
If it's yellow in color, you're good to go, yeah.
And so what you want to do is, and and Joy had briefly mentioned this, or in the question from John, is that what happens is that putting that cornmeal around your tomato plants helps with something called trichoderma, and it helps prevent the early blight that's naturally in everybody's soil. That's a bacteria. So what you want to do is at the time of planting, or as soon as you pick up your cornmeal from your local store, you want to take a handful and you put it around the base of the tomato plant. And then we highly also recommend using mulch around the tomato plants as well. And then end of July, mid to early August, you want to do this again, a handful around each tomato plant, just to help kind of boost that trichoderma.
Early blight is the bad bacteria in your soil that, when splashed up on your tomato leaves, will start to discolor it yellow to brown to killing it and progressively working up the plant. And by the time frost comes, your plant has fruit hanging off of it and no leaves because it is dead because of the early blight. So this is a way in which prevention can be occurred, and we have done this since 2014, and our tomatoes are as green as the day we planted them, the day frost kills them, and they're lush and they're producing all the way up to frost because of the whole grain cornmeal with the trichoderma fighting the early blight, as well as mulching around the base of the tomato plant to additionally prevent splash up on the leaves, and trimming any of the lower leaves and branches 6 to 8 inches above the ground, and anything from the canopy that would potentially have splash up of soil on them to create early blight on the leaves. Does putting used coffee grounds in the garden bed helpful? If so, which plants? I would think just put in the compost bin would be better.
You can put in the compost bin, but also if maybe you don't have a compost bin, you can put it with any plants. You just want to make sure that you do mix it into the soil. You don't want to just put it over the top because it will form this crust.
Also, you lose the nitrogen.
Yeah, so you want to make sure you kind of mix it in. You don't have to aggressively mix it in. You can put it beside your plants. You can just take like a little hand cultivator and kind of cultivate it in. But either way, you do want to mix it in. And there's no really particular plants that's going to make a difference with. But you do want to make sure that you kind of spread it apart, spread it around evenly.
Now, adding coffee grounds in this magnitude or this quantity of a couple of handfuls here or there, coffee grounds does not they have about 2% nitrogen, 0.5% phosphorus, and 0.5% potassium. This is not going to revolutionize the nutrient value or the pH, the nutrient value in your soil. There is no concern of affecting the acidity or alkaline levels in your soil because all of that, it's a neutral base. It's been brewed out during the coffee making process. It is it will help worms. Worms like it. It's an organic matter that's better beneficial in your garden than in the trash and at the city dump.